80% of the timber in South Africa comes from efficient, expertly managed plantations owned by large corporates and are certified by the Forest Stewardship Council. We are in Ozwathini, which is a tribal area in Kwazulu-Natal Midlands in South Africa. Here the land is held in trust and utilized by the local community in a tribal system. As you can see, it's a patchwork of subsistence vegetable gardens, open grazing land and small patches of planted forests in between the homesteads. There's very little formal employment here. The people generally build their own houses, they grow their own food and earn cash by selling timber from their small plantations into the commercial timber industry. This form of traditional land usage doesn't change much from generation to generation. It's a lifestyle that's regulated by tribal custom and it has relatively small impact on the environment. That's why you can still find this intact grassland and this rare plant right here in Ozwathini. So why is it that the large industrial plantation companies and private commercial farms, which transform large tracts of grassland to plantations and other monocrops, can get FSC certified, while the people of Ozwathini, with their low-impact lifestyles and small plantation, cannot? We're working on a project funded by the FSC and the Critical Ecosystems Partnership Fund at Ozwathini in KwaZulu-Natal, with the aim of certifying the landscape. This will enable the growers to get a premium price for their timber, which is currently unavailable to them. Let's take a closer look at how the community lives, farms, grows trees, and interacts with one another to see how closely they are aligned to the FSC principles and criteria.
Here at Ozwathini, we are the small growers. We're planting wakli and the gum, the grannies. Then we just harvesting it and sending the timber to NCT and the bark to UCL, because some other places here, houses, families, they haven't got the electricity, so they're still using the wood, the firewood to cook. At the moment, we've got the steady people we are employing.
Izinkuni lezi nizitshala la ekhaya zibalulekile empilweni yenu.
Zibaluleke kakhulu. Zibaluleke kakhulu ngoba sakha ngazo izindlu siphinde sivune nokubiya sibiya ngazo ngoba kwakuyilo leli nje naleli lengalana kuphela kodwa ngayithola imali noma yayingeningi kakhulu kodwa ngangithola imali mhlawumbe ngango-50,000 basho ukuthi-ke akhokhela amaloli, akhokhela nemishini nabantu ngoba asinazo izinto zokusebenza nento yokuthutha kade singanayo. Qashe amaloli uphama sithuthele thatha imali. Sithenga ukudla, sifundise nabantwana, senze wonke umsebenzi wekhaya ngayo.
So through FSC, I think if ever we can register our plantation, we will get the 18 rand extra per ton. So that is a lot of money.
Ozwathini is one of the few areas that still has untransformed Natal sandstone sourveld grasslands. It also has extensive indigenous forests and is an important area for water production. The forest is absolutely pristine, and it's typical of what the original forests were on the south side of hills in KZN when they were absolutely undisturbed. There are no exotic species at all in this forest. The patchwork nature of the landscape and small scale of farming and forestry activities play a role in conserving this biodiversity. By providing an alternative source of timber, these plantations take the pressure off the indigenous forests, and the nature of the forestry operations has little impact on the soil. The FSC principles and criteria contain a myriad checks and balances in order to ensure that operations comply with globally held values of sustainable or responsible forestry. However, does compliance with all these indicators actually always amount to the FSC stakeholders' picture of responsible forestry? What it does mean is that they get access to premium global markets. In Ozwathini, compliance with hundreds of indicators is an impossibility for a host of reasons. Most of these reasons are outside of the control of the community. As a result, they're unable to get their plantation operations certified, and their timber is barred from those premium markets. This market exclusion is likely to intensify in future, which may mean that these households will no longer be able to sell their timber at all. For these South African communities, already mired in poverty, the need for FSC certification could become just one more disadvantage passed on to them from the developed world. For Ozwathini to achieve certification, the FSC must take into consideration the low impact of the forestry operations and use a simplified checklist of core values to certify the landscape, such as the protection of biodiversity, soil, water, multiple resource utilization, local employment, safe working conditions, and food security. The good news is that the FSC, together with the CEPF and Forestry South Africa, is working hard and investing resources to rectify this through a number of initiatives aimed at creating solutions to the dilemma. One such investment is in Project Ozwathini. Jointly funded by the FSC and CEPF, this looks to certify a landscape inhabited by a community that depends on plantations for much of their livelihoods with very little impact on the environment. This could be a game changer, as it would give Ozwathini and communities like it an opportunity to achieve FSC certification and to share in the benefits that it can bring.
Ololo mo, ololo mo, ololo mo.